Hi everyone, it's Nicole for Spellbinders with the Summer Felt Stitch and Create Sunflower Bloom Flower Assembly Instructions. Today we're going to be talking about how we put together this beautiful sunflower that's perfect on its own or when paired with other dies like the beautiful floral beehive. The dies that come in this set, are 2 flowers, a large and a small, the flower center, a long piece, and a leaf. Now that long piece, that is what makes the magic in the center of our sunflower. You can poke out the holes in your die cut shapes. You can see me piercing some of those sunflower holes now with the tip of my needle, or a piercing tool would work, or a paper clip, something like that. But generally, I just put them together and kind of guide my needle through, and they punch out as I'm stitching. You could also choose to do 2 of the large sunflowers and 2 of the small together, or you could make a small or a large. I'm going to use the 2 sizes together, and then I just stitched the center piece just like that, just like you would do for any of the other felt stitching. Super, super easy. Then we're going to take the long ladder piece, and we're going to keep this in real time. The magic of this piece is it doesn't have any stitching holes in it. What you're going to want to do is fold it in half lengthwise, and then pinching one of the ends, you're going to start rolling it in on itself. If you need a little more security, you could put a little dab of glue at one end before you start rolling it. However, I do not. Then I'm going to keep rolling this in on itself, rolling and rolling, and you can see that it's creating these amazing little loops that are going to create the center of our sunflower. The dimension on this is amazing, and it gives you the most beautiful dimensional sunflower effect. When you get to about, I want to say, an inch, half inch from the end, that's where you're going to want to leave your little tail, and I'm just checking it to see what I think. And you're going to want to take a little dab of either liquid or hot glue, and you're going to want to pop that here right at the end. And I just put a little bit, kind of like so, and then you're going to roll that up, and that's going to help it keep its shape. Now, if you want a bigger flower center, like you saw on that floral beehive drum at the beginning of the video, you would die cut 2 of these, and you would roll the second piece around the first to make an even bigger flower center. You may have noticed in the Cheeky Apple set, there's a little teeny tiny mini version of this die for the flower center. These are so much fun to create. Then I like to put some hot glue, and usually not this big giant mess that I have here, on the back of my rolled center, and then you're going to place that in the center of your sunflower. You could also choose to use a liquid glue here instead. Then I simply kind of fluff it out, and look at that beautiful sunflower dimension. I love it. Let's go ahead and stitch our leaves together to finish off our sunflower. For this, I did die cut 4 leaves, 2 for each leaf. They're all the same. And I like to put 2 of the leaves together, just like so. You can see I've already stitched one. And starting down at the bottom of the leaf, I am going to stitch all the way up the center. So I kind of come up in what I determine will be the back of my leaf. And we are going to stitch the center veining for our leaf. Every other stitching hole, just like I talk about in all of the Felt Stitch and Create videos. Once you get to the top, you're going to reverse, and as you come back down the center, you're going to branch out to the veining on each of the sections of the leaf. And again, every other stitching hole. Why does this matter? Well, if you are creating a dimensional project where you're going to see not only the front, but the back of the leaf. You do not want to have that traditional back stitch look, and you don't want to have any wonky, weird, long stitches. It's imperative that you really follow that every other stitching hole step, because it makes the front, or the back, pardon, look as good as the front. Once you get into the habit of stitching this way, it really does become second nature. We're going to now come back to the center after we've branched out the first two veins until we come to the next little fork in the road, if you will, and then we're going to work our way out to the left side and then work our way back to the center, work our way out to the right side, and then work our way out to the center. Now for this particular leaf, not only do we have the center and veins, but we have the outside stitching as well. You could choose to do the outside stitching first and then the veining, or you can do it like I did here, where I stitched the center and then I am going to stitch all the way around the perimeter of my leaf. Once I get back to where I started, that's where I'm going to go around the perimeter of the leaf, every other stitching hole, same steps as here, and then I will reverse and go back the other way. I can almost guarantee that I do not have enough floss left right now to make it all the way around twice, so I'll likely grab another strand of floss to finish this off. If you ever have to tie it off in between the two layers of felt, so that your knot kind of hides in between those two layers and isn't on the front or the back. Full disclosure, I did start stitching this on the back of the piece because I will tie a knot onto the back, and that is because I'm going to be gluing this to something else and you will never see that little knot. Or I'll be gluing it to the back of the sunflower and I'll make sure I glue the knot side up, face up, because it doesn't matter which side of the leaf, if you've stitched it correctly, they're both going to be absolutely beautiful. So here I am stitching around the outside or the perimeter of my leaf, giving it that wonderful finished look. And this leaf could be used with many other sets as well if you want to mix and match your leaves. Even though this is a sunflower bloom, consider changing the color of your flower to maybe some bright flower colors, and you could have all kinds of wonderful, beautiful, bright flowers and create lots of fun toppers. If you are a cross stitcher and you make cross-stitched berries, this does make a wonderful berry topper. I have used it as such, and I will show more of that over on my personal YouTube page and blog. Lots and lots of great ways to use this and embellish. It is a perfect flower, perfect for summer, and I think it can be used in so many ways. Even imagine taking maybe a grapevine wreath from a big box craft store, making a whole bunch of these and making a beautiful bow, gluing them all to your grapevine wreath and decorating the door or decorating somewhere in your home. Sunflowers are always a good idea, I think. Okay, as I finish coming around here, I am going to tie this off and then I'll show you how I glue each of these to the sunflower. Now, I likely wouldn't use the sunflower as an individual plush on its own. I will glue this to another project, whether I attach it to a pillow or a wreath, or you could decorate embroidery hoops to hang on the wall, or you can, as I gave some other examples earlier in the video, you can decorate the top of cross-stitch berries, drums, really the sky's the limit. You could make a pin, a brooch to wear on, your clothes with it, or maybe put it on baby headbands. There are so many different ways to use this set. So I put a little glue on this, and you can see that I am definitely, adding the glue where I have that little knot, and then gluing it under the edge of the sunflower. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for the Felt Stitch and Create Summer Release sunflower bloom assembly directions. Please check out the Spellbinders YouTube channel for more inspiration. Thanks for watching.